I love Roblox. It's one of the games I spent the most time on. It's what got me into programming, so without it, I wouldn't be making actual games now. But I don't really enjoy playing it anymore besides a few old classics. It feels like the target audience has switched to mostly children, and most of the new games are just cash grabs. The competition on Roblox is just too big, with millions of developers trying to reach the top spots. I know a lot of creators are burned out from it. Of course, there are still good games out there, but they are overshadowed by colorful dopamine generators for children. I mean, how does this thing have like 15 million players? It's not even that good. And recently, this new project called HHightopia reached out to me to sponsor this video. They are a new UGC platform that is a bit like Roblox and Minecraft, so I was interested. Is it going to save us from the decline of Roblox? We are gonna find out today. As I said, HHightopia is a UGC platform that you can play fully in your browser. They say they offer better tools and up to 70% revenue share, which is the same as Roblox. You can create your own voxel style games easily with TypeScript, and all you have to do is install their SDK in your console. So, shall we see how it compares to Roblox Studio? Let's dive in. I created a new project and the default game looks like this. Yeah, it's a bit empty. Thankfully HHightopia has a detailed documentation, so I was able to quickly add things to a game, like this spider, and with a bit more code we can even push it around. I have actually never used TypeScript before, but I had no problems with any of this. Alright, now let's see how the map editor works. It looks a bit like Minecraft, but you can actually import any model you want into it, and it also works in the browser, so you don't have to install anything. I think I learned enough, and I'm not the kind of developer who likes messing around in the editor prototyping, so let's move straight into making a full game. I want to pick a Roblox game to recreate, so we can have a comparison between the two platforms. I went with Tower of Hell because it's extremely popular and simple enough for my dummy skills. In case you don't know, you have this huge randomly generated parkour tower to climb before the time runs out. Every time someone makes it to the top, the timer starts going faster, and when it reaches 0, the whole parkour resets. Alright, so for Tower of Hell we need a tower. So I started building the first floor. For some reason clicking A and D makes you rotate, so you can't move sideways, but that's like the only thing I dislike. Here's how the finished tower foundation looks. I'm no artist, but I think it looks fine. The terrain around was made with this terrain generator that saved a lot of time building. Tower of Hell has these very colorful floors to get through. HHightopia doesn't have blocks like that, but thankfully you can import your own textures to use. I drew some block faces and imported them with this script. Now, I can build these parkour fragments and set them to a random color. After I finish these parkour patterns I save them and import to the main script file. Then this loop goes through every block and places it on the correct height. I built a few floors, then made a script to place them randomly, and now we have a simple generated tower you can climb. Now we need a way to reset the tower. Since we don't have a timer yet, I added a chat command like this to reset the map and generate another tower. The game is quite playable already, but notice how there is nothing at the top of the tower. I built a final floor and made it spawn on top of all the parkour. When someone reaches the end, they need to be teleported back to the bottom. I didn't know how to make the teleport mechanic, but HHightopia actually has a built-in AI in its documentation that helped me a ton. We spawn a block at the top of the tower that teleports the player back to the bottom and registers a win. It was easy to make a win counter, since HHightopia has a built-in way to save data on a server. It works similar to cookies on websites. Now every time I touch the end block we can see my win count increasing. The wins are increasing, but we also need a way to lose. It's time to add the timer. You can make all UI element in HTML and CSS, and honestly I wish more game engines did this, because I hate learning a new interface system for every engine. HTML is really simple, and one of the most useful languages to learn. I made a simple timer that updates every second, and with this code we reset all players to the bottom when it runs out. All that's left to add now is a global leaderboard of wins, because games are always more fun when there's competition, right? I made a list of the top players that's saved on the server and displays at the bottom of the tower. It was also written in HTML. It was a bit difficult to get working, but in the end I think it looks pretty nice. You might have seen throughout the video that my avatar doesn't have any animations. I was really worried that I had to make my own animations because I know basically nothing about 3D modeling. But it turned out to be just a bug with a simple fix. I was relieved, but it reminded me that HHightopia is still in alpha, so bugs like this are expected. Now we just have to submit the game for everyone to play. I made a totally original logo for the game, used this command to generate a zip package, and submitted it easily. Here's some gameplay of the final version, and you can play it yourself. Link in description. As I said, this video is sponsored, but I tried to be as honest as I could. Overall, using HHightopia was a pleasant experience. It's obviously not up there with Roblox in terms of capabilities, but I think it's a nice alternative that's worth giving a try, and I'm excited to see how it evolves. Whether you're a player or developer, give HHightopia a try. Link in description. You don't even have to install anything. Thanks again to HHightopia for sponsoring this video.